Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor, y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
Que hoy sometemos a consideración de todos ustedes su más reciente obra, TDAH, Trauma y Propósito, un camino entretejido.
Le reclamé al Señor que por qué a mí, si ya me había castigado anteriormente con lo que relato en mi libro. ¿Por qué me manda un hijo con discapacidad? Y me dijo otra vez, porque quiero que ayude a muchas personas que están pasando por el mismo problema que tú.
¿Has escuchado que a las personas con discapacidad les dicen de todo? Minusválidos, enfermitos, discapacitados, inválidos, sordomudo, cieguito, retrasado, mudito, chuncho, retardado, pobrecito. No podemos continuar así. La manera correcta es persona con discapacidad o personas con discapacidad auditiva, física, visual, intelectual. Recuérdalo, todos tenemos nombre y apellido. Pregunta y úsalos. Todos somos personas con o sin discapacidad. No discriminemos, no ofendamos más. Utilicemos las palabras adecuadas por el respeto e igualdad hacia las personas con discapacidad. Coproder protege los derechos de las personas con discapacidad. Síguenos en nuestras redes sociales y visita nuestra página web. Consejo Cantonal de Protección de Derechos de Rumiñahui, siempre junto a la gente.
El Instituto Nacional para Ciegos INSI tiene la tarea de garantizar los derechos de los colombianos ciegos y con baja visión de Colombia, en términos de inclusión social, educativa, económica, política y cultural. El INSI, la entidad adscrita al Ministerio de la Igualdad que asesora a entidades nacionales, territoriales y locales que tienen a cargo la atención de los casi 2 millones de personas con discapacidad visual del país. A través de sus servicios brinda asesoría en educación inclusiva, accesibilidad digital y física e inclusión laboral. Cuenta con la imprenta nacional para ciegos que produce y entrega material especializado en diferentes formatos. Y cuenta con una tienda que pone a disposición más de 180 productos para posibilitar el desempeño de las actividades cotidianas de una manera autónoma e independiente. Y como escenario para el acceso al conocimiento desde cualquier lugar y en cualquier momento, tiene la biblioteca virtual para ciegos que pone a disposición libros en formatos accesibles, con diversas obras y géneros. Y para garantizar la participación, el acceso a la cultura y el entretenimiento, escuche INSI Radio, la emisora virtual que le da voz a las personas con discapacidad visual. Instituto Nacional para Ciegos INSI, trabajando por una Colombia más incluyente. www.insi.gov.co.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006. A continuación, Footless EE.UU, más allá de una amputación. Presenta EE.UU BECKWITH. Características de este programa. Audio en inglés, subtítulos en castellano.
My beautiful friends, I realize I have not told you a very important story. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know part of it, but I want to tell you the story of my ankle in the days, weeks. I am not working so great with words today as that past sentence just proved yet again. What I'm attempting to say is I would like to tell you the story of my foot and ankle in the days leading up to my amputation, because I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give it a proper goodbye tour. We went driving in the mountains, and then I went walking in the dirt and felt leaves on my feet, and then came back, and a couple days later it was snowing, and I walked outside in the snow, and even though all of those things caused me pain, I knew that it was gonna be the last time I felt non-phantom sensation and pain on that part of my body, and it only seemed right to try to experience things that I wouldn't experience again. And I sat at my friend's house in a window trying to calm some of my fears before surgery, and her cat jumped up and rubbed against me, and again, that did not feel great, but I got to feel his fur against my skin, and part of me feels like it's like way too over dramatic, or whatever the word would be, like to give your leg a goodbye tour, but whatever, that's what I did. And then, the day before surgery, I called my friends over, my good friends, who, most of whom have known me since all of this started, basically. Like, back when I was 13. And they wrote goodbye messages on my ankle. Again, that did not feel good, and I had them, you know, not right on the part that was super painful to touch, but I felt like it was only right. And also it serves as a great protective measure against the doctor chopping off the wrong foot. Like I drew, you know, a dotted line with a scissor on it because I'm, you know, I have a dark sense of humor like that. My friend Maggie wrote Bye Little Piggies, which is just fabulous, and my friend Abby wrote a angry poem to it, which was awesome. I think Brian just wrote bye, and I wrote a breakup letter to it on the top of my foot, saying, listen, we've had some good times together, and I appreciate everything you've done for me, but this isn't working out. And then my mom signed it right before we went into surgery. I went into surgery, and it felt honestly really cool to be like surrounded. I felt like so many people, oh, I'm gonna like get emotional. Felt like so many people were like going into surgery with me, you know? Oh, damn it, I just put makeup on for the day. Anyway, so I was able to take a moment to say goodbye, and I know that a lot of people don't get that, and I was very grateful for it. I was also really grateful that the permanent marker stayed on. Brian and I stayed in a hotel right by the hospital the night before, and then we got coffee on the way to the hospital. He got coffee. I wasn't allowed to drink coffee, which is such a bummer. And then we showed up to the hospital about 5 a.m. because my surgery was at 7. And got ready and got it done. So the weird thing though is that I have a friend who actually had surgery by the same doctor, had amputation by the same doctor. I got connected up with her because she's an amputee. She's so awesome and so helpful and answers so many questions for me, but she did the same thing. She did the same thing before surgery, and I had no idea. And so I thought I was being all original and stuff, walking into surgery with cool pictures and messages drawn on my leg. Nope, my surgeon had seen it all before. She had done it 3 years prior. So that is the story of the last few days with my leg and kind of how I said goodbye to it. So hey again, this is Editing Joe as I am going through this footage. I uploaded like all of the footage from pre-surgery last night, and I didn't take a look at it before I recorded the video that you just watched. And as I'm going through like editing it and splicing it together, it is really weird to like see it. And I think the weirdest thing is that I remember all of the sensations. Like as I'm watching myself walk through the concrete right outside as it was raining outside, and I remember what it feels like to like feel that cold, as it mixed with how my foot would feel pain because the nerves were so screwed up. And I remember what it felt like when people wrote with markers on my foot. And again, because of like how many surgeries I had, the nerves in there were so messed up that everything felt different and weird and numb and painful and just like, ugh. I remember it all very vividly, and it's weird and weirdly uncomfortable. Not bad, just like weirdly uncomfortable watching all of this back. Because it wasn't that long ago that this was a part of me, that like that was a part of my body that was attached to me. And man, it's really fascinating. I think I'm kind of realizing how important of a thing it was to do that silly goodbye tour, and how grateful I am to have had a chance to say goodbye, because it actually is kind of like an emotional thing to go back through this. And I didn't really expect it to be. Like, I thought as I was doing it, I was like, this is dumb, whatever. It just seems like a good thing to do, and I guess I'll film part of it. But I'm really glad I did. I'm really glad I have this, and it's weird. This is weird. It's weird, guys. It's weird to look down and see 2 feet attached to me. Side note, I trimmed my toenails last night, and it's so weird to just have to do 5 and not 10. It isn't like the first time in 3 months that I trim my toenails, just to clarify that. Like, I have done it before. It just registered like, oh, this is so weird. I'm done. Like, it takes half the amount of time. Anyways, Sadie and I bid you a lovely rest of your day, and I'm sending my love and light your way. Bye, guys. So if you've watched many of my previous videos, you know that I like living in a sea of blankets. And you'll notice I'm not the only one. This puppy right here also is a big advocate for sea of blanket living. Georgia was the name of the mare I was on. She was this gorgeous chestnut mare. And we came like over a hill, and my friends were really good at riding, and they just like took off on their horses because they were really good at it. And I was like, I can do this. Like, all you really have to do is hold on, right? She was an ex-race horse, so she was real good at running, and I was holding on for dear life, and then she just tripped. And I remember, like, that's the one picture I actually have in my head. I remember her, like, I remember the motion of like something's not right, and I kind of like went over her right shoulder, and I remember kind of grabbing at her mane. I remember hitting the ground, and that's it. I don't remember anything after that until my friends came running up. I thought it was okay until I went to stand up, and then I passed out again, and we realized something was super wrong with my ankle. My horse had run off. Thankfully she was okay, like she didn't break her leg or anything like that, but they had to get a golf cart out to the middle of this field, because right now there's like some houses you can see in the distance. There was nothing, like for miles and miles, and we had gone out a ways. So I was sitting in a field, increasingly in pain, because after the shock of falling off a horse, I started realizing more and more like, man, something is really not okay with my little 13-year-old ankle. The hospital actually turned me away. I don't think I've told you guys that before. They were like, we're super full right now, and they sent me home, but by the time I got back home, my eyes were like completely bloodshot. I was in so much pain, and my mom took me back to the hospital, and that's when they learned that my ankle was totally shattered. The end of it had like broken up and then shoved an inch of my ankle bone up into my leg. It was a cool day for doctors because they'd never seen a break like that. But because of that break, I had to have a surgery, and then another surgery, and then another surgery, and then they fused my ankle when I was 15. Now I'm 28, and 7 months ago, almost to the day, I had to have my leg chopped off because for 15 years, nothing was ever right after that day. Like, I think it could have been, but a series of unfortunate events made it so that whether it was a surgeon making a small mistake, or whether my body just didn't want to heal right, or whether the cartilage in my ankle just disappeared, it never worked out, and I was always in pain. And so this last year, if you follow my channel, you know this, I made the decision to go ahead and remove the problem, as it were, and actually cut my ankle off and become an amputee to stop the pain. This is where it's all happened, and I haven't come back to this place since. I probably could have, but It's actually kind of a peaceful feel. I mean, it's a good place to have your life changed forever if you have to be somewhere. But it's definitely weird to be back here.
Hello there, my beautiful, lovely internet friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since I got to say that. About a month and a half ago, I sort of disappeared off of most of the internet and here on YouTube, and there's a reason for that. And I'm making today's video to sort of explain that because I do not feel like the same person that I was a month ago, 2 months ago, and literally nothing in my life looks even remotely the same. And I want to share this with you because I don't think I can come back to just making like fun content or whatever that might be, because that's not, like, that might be where I am in some moments, but I can't fake a smile for the camera right now. I'm just gonna try to do this in one take. So I hope you'll excuse the uhs and the ums and perhaps the longer than would be normally acceptable on YouTube pauses. But I am deeply unwell. In the past 2 months, my life is unrecognizable, I think is the best word that I could use. Back in March, I made the decision to end my marriage with Brian. We are in the process of getting divorced. It's very amicable as much as these things can be. There's no reason anyone should be, upset or direct any anger towards Brian at all. This is just a decision that I had to make, and one that is awful and breaks my heart and breaks his heart. And if you've ever gone through something like this, I think you know what I mean. That alone is enough to turn life completely upside down. It is astounding to me the ways that ending a long-term relationship touches every single aspect of your life, socially, mentally, obviously, emotionally, financially. There's nothing in your life that really exists without the other person, or at least there wasn't for me. And before I get to some of the other things that have occurred, I realized that I have spent my entire adult life basically with someone, with the same person, going through hard things. And now that I am doing life suddenly on my own, I don't know how to handle it. And I have a lot of shame in saying that, because I'm like, Joe, you just turned 31. You should probably have your shit together. But I'm here to tell you that I certainly do not. You guys might be familiar with my dogs from my channel. If you know me in real life, you know that my dogs are my life. Like, I am a dog person to my very core. And when I moved out, I brought Sadie, Sophie, and Sully with me, my 3 doggos. And we adopted Sully about 6 months ago. When we got him, we knew he had a heart condition. The extent of that heart condition was not exactly clearly disclosed. And basically, he got sick pretty quickly, got very visibly unwell pretty quickly. And I had to make the decision to put down my 10-month-old puppy about 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, which was crushing. And up until that moment, like moving out, all of that, I was proud of myself that I was holding it together. I was like, man, this is hard, but I'm doing the things that I need to do. I am reaching out to my friends. I'm staying active. I'm eating. I'm, whatever I need to do to like get through hard things in a good way, and I'm proud of myself for that. And when Sully died, that like set off this chain event of probably just honest emotion and reacting to everything that's going on, and I fell the hell apart and started getting to a very unwell mental place. And I put up a post on Instagram, I think a week ago today maybe, saying, you know, hey, this is what's been going on, it's just me and my shepherds now. And I posted a picture with Sadie right there and Sophie right here, sitting right there. And I think it was the next day that I was playing tennis ball with my girls in the backyard, and Sophie and Sadie hit their heads together. They were both going for a tennis ball, and it wasn't even that hard, or at least it didn't look it, and Sadie went down and couldn't get back up. And I couldn't pick her up on my own, because she was like 80 pounds. Thankfully my neighbors were home and could help me, and I got her in the car and brought her to the ER, and then a couple hours later she was gone. She had it was just like a freak accident and a spinal injury. And Sadie was my everything dog. I got her after trauma that I went through years ago when I was in a very dark place, and I swear to God that dog was the only reason I survived. She saved my life. I know people say that about dogs all the time, but like she really did. And she was like my heart dog. And I spent the next 11 years of her life, because that's how long I had her, trying to thank her for everything she did for me. And so now I'm sitting here in this house that I have rented that is so quiet because there's not panting and tons of paws, and there's no one else here. It's just me and Sophie, who is sad and confused because she's always had buddies, and me, who is sad and confused. And I am absolutely falling apart. And I don't say that for a cause for concern or anything like that, but in my journey on the internet, it's always been very therapeutic for me to share with you where I honestly am, as much as I can in any moment. And as I've done that, I've shared some heavy things before, you know, going through amputation, dealing with depression, dealing with suicidal thoughts, and being honest with that. But looking back, even as I did that, I still felt like I had some kind of handle on pieces of my life. Like, even if it felt like it was a wreck, even if I felt completely broken and like everything was falling apart, I felt like there was always sort of a thread. And I feel like I have lost that thread. And that is one of the reasons why I haven't wanted to make videos, because I feel lost. And here's the thing, I feel like it's a curse of having gone through difficult things before in life. I know that I have the ability to get through this. I know I have the capacity to, right? I know that I might not have all the resources right now, but I know that I can reach out. I know that I can grow and expand my coping and my processing skills, and like I can find a way through this. I know that for a fact. I believe in my strength and in my perseverance. The problem is I just don't want to. I am so tired of being strong. I'm so tired on a core level of hard things. And I want to roll my eyes when I say that, because I'm like, everyone is, Joe, deal with it. But I am not well. I'm, in the moments when I'm thinking straight, very proud of the fact that there have been some moments in the past couple of weeks where I recognized I was gonna be an active danger to myself if I stayed alone. And so in those moments, I've called people, I've gone and stayed with people, I'm trying to do the things, like reach out to friends, go to therapy, stay in touch with people, and I'll continue doing those things. I know that I will find my way through this, but I don't know how to want to right now. Please understand, I do have support. I am safe. I will be safe. I will be here. I just don't know what that's gonna look like because I feel like all of my wires have been ripped out. I feel like the core of who I am is sort of shattered at the moment. I don't want to deal with things well. I don't want to go through this in a healthy way. I feel like a teenager again in some ways where I just wanna throw a fit and break things and deal with things in a horrible way. The impact that this has all had on me, there's so much loss. I feel like I blinked and all of the things that I held dear were gone or very different. And I'm not coping well with that. But I will continue to make the commitment to find my way through it. And I wanted to make this video, and I appreciate you listening to this in one take because I'd much rather do this in a put together fashion when I've actually showered in the last couple of days and maybe have some makeup on and are making jokes about things and trying to keep things more light and fun. I appreciate you listening to me as I am because I believe in trying to be honest about where we are because I personally have found a lot of benefit in hearing from other people when they genuinely are not okay. So I'm not gonna try to fake it because I don't have that in me right now. And I hope you aren't, but I hope that if you are ever have been in a similar place of feeling absolutely to your core wrecked, I hope you know you're not alone. I know I'm not alone, though it is hard to remember that in some moments. And I'm gonna continue making videos here because I know that that is one thing that is good for me. It has always been a very beneficial thing to my mental health, and it's also my job now. But it's something I enjoy doing, and I may come back with fun, happy videos because it's a good distraction, and I may come back with more, serious videos talking about deeper emotions because I also enjoy doing that and think it's important to do. But I didn't want to just pop back on YouTube like everything was the same because I am not the same, and I don't know how to be right now. And I feel like I could keep rambling and probably saying the same thing for a very long time, but I think that is the core of what I wanted to say. One last thing, actually. A number of people have noticed my absence and reached out to me. And if you're one of those people, thank you. It is so sweet and so kind that you would notice I haven't been posting and that's weird and hey, are you okay? And then when I kind of put the announcement up on Instagram about stuff that had been going on and the decisions that I made, I was terrified to do that because I expect the internet to be the internet sometimes, but I find that I am consistently shocked by how kind you are. And people were absolutely amazing. So thank you guys for that. And thank you, my lovely audience, for listening. I don't know how to end this video other than ending it. So I'm gonna go back to my, the way that I've ended videos for like 3 years now and say, you could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, but you chose to hang out with me here for a few minutes and listen to me speak. That means the world to me. Thank you. I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir. Así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.
New York City is crazy! People, cars, bikers, dogs on leashes, tourists. It's a crazy thing to see. But what if you couldn't see it? We wanted to know what it's like for over 350,000 blind or visually impaired New Yorkers who've been experiencing New York City in a very different way than we have. This is a day in the life of a blind person in New York City. Today we're in Bed-Stuy. We're going to spend our day with Yvonne, who is a blind New Yorker. Hey, this is Alex.
I'm Alex.
Hi, how
We got
are
the
you?
camera going.
Okay, let's go.
Yvonne is a lifelong caretaker. Before she lost her vision, Yvonne raised her 3 kids and fostered around 30 more in this very house. She and her husband Ferris, a limo driver, have lived here for 24 years.
I see you taking pictures of my baby.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with the lovely Yvonne today.
She's an amazing woman. I hope you can keep up with her.
Even though Yvonne lost most of her vision 16 years ago, she still learned how to cook and clean up after herself. She uses tools like her Alexa to hear the weather in the morning and her Apple Watch to make phone calls. We don't have to be anywhere until 10 a.m., but today, Yvonne got up at 5. She's an hour early for everything.
If I tried to rush, I could drop my beret. So then the panic comes. Where is it? You know, so that's why you don't want to rush.
At 7:15, it's time to head into the city for a busy day.
What is it like to walk through New York City, a busy New York City street with that cane?
A lot of people don't know what this cane means. So you hit a couple people.
For pre-planned trips like this, New York City provides Accessoride, which helps New Yorkers who aren't able to use public transportation get around for the price of a subway ticket. Almost every day of the week, Yvonne goes to the Vision Center right here in the Chelsea neighborhood in Manhattan. They offer a whole bunch of services for the blind and visually impaired. When you're blind, having routines is incredibly important. You can learn patterns and tricks for getting places that you know well. So before her classes at Visions, Yvonne goes to the same place for breakfast every morning.
Bacon, eggs, and cheese. Is this to go? Yes.
So by counting these grates in the sidewalk, Yvonne knows exactly how far it is to get back to the Vision Center. It's 4 grates. There's number 3. Before going blind, Yvonne was a busy New Yorker just like the rest of us. She had 2 jobs, a whole lot of people to take care of. But then one morning she woke up and couldn't see.
I was very frightened. I was crying. And then my husband took me to the doctor. And so it was one of these things where you don't even want to open your eyes because you don't want to know you can't see.
Yvonne was left completely blind in her right eye and only has very little vision in her left eye.
I just stayed in the bed. I was very depressed. I got into a depression.
As Yvonne's vision left, so did her sense of purpose. She believed she'd never again be able to do the things she loved. But at Visions, she found a community that helped her adapt and thrive. She learned tools for mobility, household tips, useful skills like Braille.
She gets on me because I don't practice enough.
And joined a community of hundreds of people experiencing New York without vision.
Hi. I'm good. That's Francine? Yeah. Okay. It was like just a new family. So I just started coming alive.
She learned she was far more capable than she believed. And pretty soon, Yvonne became a teacher for other visually impaired students.
What's going on right now?
It's 10 a.m. Students are filing in. It is about time to get started with dance class and aerobics class.
And today, we're gonna put on this blindfold so we can have the slightest idea of what it's like to be blind, starting with dance and aerobics class.
Is that right?
Okay, so right now Yvonne is leading this class. Brian is taking it. He's blindfolded, and it's an interesting thing to watch Brian because he's doing his best, but you know if he gets disoriented at all, he just has no idea where he is. Brian, turn 90 degrees to your right. There you go.
It was scary. It was lonely. I felt very disconnected from the world around me.
I want to see some moving.
And there was something amazing about when we all started using the rattles. When I couldn't see, they were a lifeline. They were telling me, hey, I'm surrounded by people and we're all listening to the same music. Now I'm using my other senses to understand that I am still connected to this world.
At 2:30, Yvonne leads a class called Exploring Chelsea.
Every week we go to a different place to see what's around the Chelsea area.
Today is ice cream day, which is amazing if Alex can get there. It's his turn to try out the blindfold on the crazy streets of Manhattan.
I just feel like I'm gonna fall through a manhole or crash into a window or a person or step in poop.
Just go totally straight.
I don't know what straight is.
You're doing it. There's a pole. My bad.
Jesus. Ryan.
There's a bike lane.
God.
I'm trying. Your next step is a curve.
Jesus.
Okay.
That was really scary. This is all really scary for me right now.
Okay. Alex, put your hand there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now what do I do?
Okay, now you have ice cream in your hand.
Yay.
You know what to do from here. How well do you feel like you know Chelsea?
I don't know Chelsea, that's why I developed this class, so I could get out.
So I'll just sit here, be here with my thoughts of what the heck's happening around me. That's pretty much all I'm thinking about. What is happening around me and where are things happening?
For the way back, Yvonne offers Alex her cane.
Can you hear the traffic on your right side?
No, yeah, cross us. Yeah.
That means you can't cross.
Right.
It took me a little bit to say I'm blind because that's not where I wanted to be. I learned by accepting my disability is better.
I imagine once you said, okay, this is what it is, and you said I got to do my best here.
Yes.
What do you remember about the Malibu Diner?
Well, I remember it has a green blue awning, but I can't see that right now.
Okay, it's purple.
And there's 4 basement covers until Visions. 2.
Oh, that's 3.
Let's hit 4.
That's 4.
Wow. That was a journey.
Right?
Yeah, that was a journey. There was a lot of anxiety and fear in that, and Yvonne was a very calming guide and teacher. She was like a Yoda.
Being blind is really tough, but it hasn't stopped Yvonne and 350,000 other New Yorkers from learning, from living, from taking care of people, from being New Yorkers, just like the rest of us.
I don't want no one to hinder me to say that what I cannot do.
Yvonne said her biggest thing that this has given her is courage to go out in the world and to face those fears, because when she's out there and she's crossing the street, those fears aren't gone. It's just that she's developed the courage to deal with that.
When I help other people, it gives me more courage to go on and do more for myself. They don't know it, but other people encourage me. I see them dealing with their problem to the best of their ability, and that's what I try to do, just to help people, and it helps me. I'm Yvonne, and this is the day of my life. Rally on!
¿Conoces los programas que conforman a la CNDH? 6. Atención a personas con discapacidad. Este importante programa, perteneciente a la primera Visitaduría General, trabaja de manera conjunta con organizaciones de la sociedad civil y dependencias de los 3 órdenes de gobierno, a través de la promoción, difusión, orientación y acompañamiento en casos de presunta vulneración a los derechos humanos de las personas con discapacidad. Además, realiza investigaciones, informes y diagnósticos acerca del estado que guardan los derechos humanos de este sector de la población, a fin de dar a conocer las áreas de oportunidad, coadyuvando con la asertiva toma de decisiones en pro de la inclusión. Si consideras que tus derechos han sido vulnerados, acércate a nosotros. En la Comisión Nacional de los Derechos Humanos, defendemos al pueblo.
Discapacidad Televisión.
¡Hola, mundo!
Primer canal de televisión dedicado al colectivo de personas con discapacidad desde 2006.
Juli.
Sí.
¿Venís un segundo, por favor? ¿Cómo va todo?
Todo bien.
¿Bien? Genial, me alegro. Bueno, hoy se va a estar sumando un chico nuevo al equipo.
Bien.
Así que quiero que lo ayudemos, viste que el primer día no es fácil para nadie.
No.
Vos vas a ser el encargado de explicarle cómo funcionan las cosas.
Bien.
Tengámosle paciencia, viste que la adaptación no es fácil.
No, claro, obvio.
Si hay que explicarle las cosas 2 veces.
Se las explicamos 2 veces.
Sí, si hay que explicárselas 3 veces.
3 veces.
3 veces, perfecto. Mira, justo ahí viene.
Hola.
Hola. Mati, él es Juli.
Hola.
Juli va a ser el encargado de presentarte a los chicos del equipo y mostrarte cómo funciona todo por acá. Así que bueno, si quieren ir leyendo.
Vamos, te muestro todo.
Juli. Hagámosle sentir una más, ¿dale?
Sí. Freidora.
Y esta es la tostadora.
Bien, exacto. Bueno, en ese osito, poné la bebida.
¿La bebida?
Ah, sí, sí. Se me pone vainilla. No importa, tranquilo.
Porque hoy sometemos a consideración de todos ustedes su más reciente obra, TDAH, Trauma y Propósito, un camino entretejido.
Le reclamé al Señor que por qué a mí, si ya me había castigado anteriormente con lo que relato en mi libro. ¿Por qué me manda un hijo con discapacidad? Y me dijo otra vez, porque quiero que ayude a muchas personas que están pasando por el mismo problema que tú.
Voy a cantar hasta 3 y empezamos. 1, 2, 3.
Aprendamos a expresar, a ver, oír y escuchar. Aprendamos a cantar y a movernos en igualdad. Que toda discapacidad, sin importar la edad, es para la humanidad una gran verdad. Pero al final, ser personas es nuestra capacidad.
¡Vamos, chicos!
Déjame contarte un secreto a voces sobre aquellos sin voz. Déjame mostrarte el infinito de los que no pueden ver. Déjame caminar contigo por aquellos que no pueden. Déjame sin manos enseñarte a sentir y aprender a vibrar. Es cuestión de equidad. Aprendamos a expresar, a ver, oír y escuchar. Aprendamos a cantar y a movernos en igualdad. Que toda discapacidad, sin importar la edad, es para la humanidad una gran verdad. Pero al final, ser personas es nuestra capacidad. Ser personas es nuestra capacidad. Ser personas es nuestra capacidad. Déjame mirarte a los ojos con los míos llenos de paz. Deja que la libertad nos muestre el camino de la identidad. Déjame tomarte de la mano, encontremos igualdad. Vamos que el futuro es solo nuestro, comencemos a brillar. Es cuestión de equidad. Aprendamos a expresar, a ver, oír y escuchar. Aprendamos a cantar y a movernos en igualdad. Que toda discapacidad, sin importar la edad, es para la humanidad una gran verdad. Pero al final, ser personas es nuestra capacidad. Ser personas es nuestra capacidad. Ser personas es nuestra capacidad.
Directo a la canción.
Hola, bienvenidos a Discapacidad Televisión. Recuerda suscribirte para no perderte los últimos estrenos y programas en vivo. Danos un me gusta, y así nos ayudarás a conocerte mejor, y saber qué programación es tu favorita. Por favor, no te olvides de compartir, así, más personas podrán disfrutar de Discapacidad Televisión y toda su programación. Muchas gracias.